Hey guys, this is Will of TyBL and welcome back to my channel. The quantity of BL series in 2020 is something that you would not expect in a year. A lot were released this year, but does it have the quality of a good BL series? I've been watching a lot of BLs lately and I think that I still would not be able to finish all of these in just one sitting. But still, this video might help you to have some idea what BL series you can watch next. Before we start, this video might contain spoilers from the show itself. Also, the BL series that are included in this video are released this year 2020. Anyway, if you live in a different country and some BL series are not available to yours, you can use ExpressVPN to watch those restricted series. Use the link on the description below to have 49% discount and 3 months free if you opt to avail the 12-month plan. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. Why Are You the series is definitely one of the first BL series that aired this 2020. Most of the actors in this series were newcomers in the BL industry. The reason why I recommend this series is because of the dynamics between the two lead couples. The seriousness of Fighter and Tutor made them separate from the cuteness of Cypher and Zorn. But every BL is not perfect in terms of its storyline, and that includes Why Are You the series. Nevertheless, if you want to see both hot and cute scenes on a BL, then this series might be for you. Together the series is known as the most watched BL series in Line TV, having more than 100 million views in just 3 months since it's released. The story revolved on the lives of Solo Watt and Tyne having a fake relationship in order to drive away Green from the life of Tyne. This series also has 3 other main BL couples, which are Mill and Fukong, Green and Im, and Man and Type. I also recommend that you watch Still Together, which includes 5 special episodes after the main season. The special episodes ironed out some issues and plot holes that weren't answered during the main storyline. If you are fond of light and fun stories, then An Odd Love Tossara might be for you. This BL series revolved around the story of Gun, who is a medical student, and Bar, who is an engineering student. The series only has 4 episodes in total, which you may find lacking in today's standards of 12 to 13 episodes. Anyway, the reason I put this BL in my recommendation list is I enjoyed watching this show solely because of the main couple. Although the acting of most actors in this series might not be on par to those on other BL series, somehow they managed to deliver their characters most of the time. Also, Folk is my favorite actor in the series because of his cuteness and so much adorable. He actually reminds me of Chimon when he's on screen. The height difference of the two leads is also a plus for me in this series. My greatest gripe on this series is the chronological events of the story. Somehow, I found myself confused on the flow of the storyline, which affected my understanding of the whole show. Anyway, you might want to check this out if you are really having a problem on what BL to watch next. Another fun, light, and engineering BL story is My Engineer the series. My Engineer is actually one of those underrated BL series that is released this 2020. The storyline is actually quite clean compared to the others, and the story is just light. This BL series will tell you the love stories of 4 couples, namely Bong and Doowon, Ram and King, Meg and Boss, and lastly, Frong and Dr. Thara. Although this series has quite a lot of couples, they managed to give everyone an equal screen time, in which helped the story progressed a lot cleaner. Don't let the title fool you. Although it is titled as My Engineer, the story did not revolve solely on them being an engineer. An Odd Love. Love Mechanics is another BL series consisting of engineering students. Love Mechanics is actually my favorite in the 3 An Odd Love series. Personally, V and Mark have the most interesting story among the 3 BL couples of An Odd Love universe. The main characters also have an amazing chemistry which made me wanting more for their story. But this series also shares a controversial plot in almost every BL series. Like Tossara, love mechanics also made me dizzy with its timeline. It made me confused with its time jump between scenes that didn't make any sense in the whole storyline. I also didn't like V as a character because of his indecisiveness and also for taking advantage of the drunken Mark. But if those problems weren't present in the series, then it might help the show to become even more appreciated than what it is today. The Shipper is actually one of my favorite shows in this whole year. Although some might argue that this show is not a BL, it actually is in some way. The BL in this series is not directly implied, just like any other ordinary BL series. You may find yourself confused on who to ship because of some events that happen in the series. I actually don't want to say more about this series because I might spoil a lot of events that might ruin your watching experience. I highly recommend this series, so you better check this out if you have some time. When I saw this series for the first time, I definitely remembered Tharn type in them because of being roommates. Anyway, that doesn't mean that they also have steamy hot scenes just like in Tharn type. This series is actually a fun to watch, although it's only a mini series and had a small budget compared to the others. Since it's only composed of 5 episodes, I found the story a bit fast paced and lacks some depth in it that could be a good plot for the whole story. But the good thing is, there were no unnecessary dramas from extra characters that could destroy the storyline. I actually liked the 3 supporting characters because of their extra energy throughout the series that added a little fun to the story. Anyway, this series deserves to be watched by many. I'm a bit skeptical whether to include this on my recommendation list, but since it's here, I'll explain it to you. The storyline of A Chance to Love might not be as good as its first season due to the absence of Pete in the story. The timeline of Tin and Can made a lot of viewers, including me, to be the source of confusion for this series. The first and second episode made me feel the nostalgia from the series I really loved in 2018. But the third episode made the series a bit bland because of showing us again the scenes we have already seen in the first season. Also, the story of AE being so devastated for the whole 3 episodes is dragging me to dislike its story. AE being heartbroken were already established in the first 2 episodes, so doing this for the whole series until the end might bore some of the viewers. Anyway, I put this on my recommendation list because of the reason for those who are deeply in love in the first season of Love by Chance. Also, the love story of Tin and Can is yet to unfold that we haven't seen 2 years ago. My Gear and Your Gown is actually one of the BL series that I didn't expect I would love to watch. This series will tell us about the story of It and Pai who fight for their rights on a single room for their own respective clubs when they were still in high school. Because of that incident, it made them closer and closer to each other until they fall in love. The series is currently in its episode 3 right now, and I highly recommend you to watch it. The innocence and cuteness of Pai are the 2 of so many things I really love in this series. The acting of the actors is actually great and convincing enough for this series. My Gear and Your Gown can be watched only through the WeTV app. Oxygen, the series, is one of the most anticipated BL series even last year. What I like in the series is the straightforwardness of the characters when it comes to their feelings for those who they love. The series is actually cute and light in the first episodes, but we still don't know what would be its outcome on the end. The main BL couple really has a great chemistry with one another. Also, the plot makes the whole series interesting. After watching the first episode, I even wanted to have someone who could give me a milk also in midnight. The first PHBL series in this list is the recent concluded Gameboys the series. Although I haven't watched all of PHBL series, Gameboys is actually my favorite so far. The scenes, script, casts, storyline, and plot were all high quality that made me wanting more for the series. Gameboys is not only an ordinary BL series that tells us love story but also embodies the truthfulness of LGBT's hardships in the society. The first 5 episodes of this series were pretty good for a BL, but towards that, it made me realize that I'm watching one of the best BL produced in 2020. Spoilers alert. I really loved how they showcase the moment Cairo outed himself in front of his mother. That scene made him so vulnerable for so many things that I really cried for him. Most of the times in our lives, we have done some things that we regret, but at the end of the day, that's just our destiny. I also liked the way Gav comforted Cairo when the times were really hard for him because of his father. It added depth to his character. The kiss in episode 10 is one of the most original kissing scene I've seen in a BL series. I should have added that scene to my next video of 10 best kissing scenes. Anyway, the episodes 12 and 13 are also my favorites in the show. Episode 12 had shown us the versatility of the actors. The moment they started to throw their arguments toward each other, I already lost my sanity. For me, that was the scene where they are the best actors for me. I really felt their emotions flowing because of their heated arguments. In episode 13, we saw how powerful love can be. Although Gav and Cairo couldn't understand each other with their minds, their hearts do. That led us to the amazing kissing scene for their finale. Hello Stranger is another PHBL series that I really enjoyed watching in 2020. The setup is comparable to that of Gameboys because of the pandemic that affects their shooting situation. Anyway, that doesn't stop Hello Stranger to be known internationally because of the chemistry of the two main characters. Tony and JC are great when it comes to portraying the characters of Xavier and Miko. The series started as the two being enemies because of Xavier commenting on Miko's online quiz show as uncool. As the story progresses, the two find themselves being comfortable with one another until later on, begins developing feelings unexpectedly. The ending of the series made me want for more of their story to be developed, but it's still good as a whole. There are still many other BL series that I haven't watched right now, so if you know more something, then comment it down below to share it with everyone. There is also a Korean BL mini-series which is currently airing right now in Viki, but because of the strict copyright, I can't include it in here. Anyway, 2020 stormed us with so many BL series, but not every BL is created equal. Thank you for watching. That's it, and see you on the next one.